Welcome to the Soul Different podcast, where two generations of women come together to talk all things parenting, health, business, and overcoming life's challenges. I'm Devon. I'm here with my amazing daughter, Zeyanna Monet, and we're on a mission to break barriers, rebuild the family unit as the cornerstone of success, and elevate our culture by sharing our stories and strategies for thriving together. Whether you're a mother, daughter, or both, we're here to inspire and empower you to nurture your health, grow your business, and build a legacy that moves us all forward. Let's dive into the conversation.
It looks like we're ready to go, Miss Calloway.
We're back.
We're back.
She really has talked me into this.
Well, we're like knee deep now, so I don't think there's definitely no turning back now. But you know, this episode though is very, very special.
Very special.
We're gonna be getting into a huge part of our story and our foundation. I feel like I said that the last time too, but you know, a foundation has many pieces to it. So this is definitely our anchor. This episode is dedicated to a special mother, many mothers. Before we get started, I do just want to say happy Mother's Day to my mother first.
Happy Mother's Day, y'all.
And happy Mother's Day
They messed around and gave us a day.
Well, you know, all year round. It's really all year round. But happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there that are listening and watching. And I just want to shout out, I'm not a mother yet, but you know, I have raised a couple sons. If you didn't know,
You're
son. I'm just kidding.
To multiple.
I do. I have 4 godchildren.
4, yes.
Might be 5, I think, yeah. But I just want to take a moment before we start just to shout out all the mothers that are making sacrifices. I feel like no matter what decade we're in, no matter how much time has passed, there's a mother somewhere working multiple jobs, sacrificing, you know, for her children or her child, her family in general, her husband, her parents, her nieces or nephews. There's mothers everywhere across the world that are truly representing for the good moms. And I just want to shout out the moms that are grieving the loss of their children. I want to shout out the moms who are possibly going through any type of divorce or hard breakup, but you know, they have little eyes up watching them, and every day they're continuing to fight through that, because I can't imagine that pain. But I know there's so many mothers out there daily that are walking around with broken hearts, but they keep a smile on their face for their children. And if anybody hasn't told you, I'll tell you, you know, it's important, and your little ones are watching, and one day they will repay you. And then to get into the episode, I want to also say a shout out and or a prayer, or you know, send a note to God to all the mothers that are in heaven.
Heavenly
mothers, the ones that are watching down on us, the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunties, which we have a soldier of an angel up top that's kept us and is looking over us. And when we speak of family first, we are thinking of her and those that came before her. So this episode is dedicated to, I can say my grandmothers, but you know, because my maternal grandmother, you know, is the first angel that we gained so long ago. I can't even think about, I'm not really great at fast math, so I can't think about how long it's been, but it feels like we've been without her for a very long time.
Well, you were 8.
I was 8, but we're not going to say how old I am now. Not right now. I'm at that age now where we don't talk about age no more.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
That's new.
I just reached it. But
okay.
But yes, I was 8. I was 8 when Nana passed away.
You were 8.
She passed a week after my 8th birthday, actually, just about. So I got to celebrate one last birthday with her. And before you get started, I'll share that every year my grandmother would make me a cake for my birthday. You all right over there?
I just thought about it. I have no tissue,
It's
but
okay.
it's okay.
Well,
I'm gonna be okay.
this is going to be, or possibly be, an emotional moment, right? But we've been talking about perspective lately, right? And
Yes.
the perspective for us to have today, I believe, is celebration.
Yes.
And just to celebrate, what Nana meant to us, and and we've cried enough, and I want you to be able to cry. But
I was gonna say enough.
I mean, is
But-
there ever enough tears? But what I'm trying to say is,
I'm not gonna cry.
no, it's okay, Ma. You can cry. But I just I just want us to celebrate. I want our perspective on grief to be a little different today, which it's been a rocky road, but the cake, I know, probably just because what recently has transpired with the cake, but it's all good because it was a lesson for us. But
Let them.
the let them theory, yes,
The let them theory.
My grandmother would make me a cake for my birthday every year, and this was kind of like what we did together. So she was an amazing cook, as we've shared. So her making the cake was her and we would always, I don't really remember making this particular cake, truthfully, but for my 8th birthday, my grandmother made me a cake, a good old tradition vanilla cake with chocolate frosting.
Yes.
If you come from a Black household, that's our go-to. Betty Crocker, to be specific. And I'm sure she could have made some from scratch, but
definitely could have.
She would.
We realized that it was a box cake after we now know.
Correct, right? So she made this cake for me, beautiful cake. The number 8 was still on it, and only one piece was taken out of it.
One piece.
My dad was the only person that took that piece from it, and I don't remember what we did for that birthday. I'm sure we went out to eat
dinner
or something. Like with you guys always celebrated me. I appreciate you guys for that. And so we had that cake, but for some reason, for a week, nobody else touched it. I didn't touch it. You didn't touch it. It just sat there,
which was really odd.
Right. And
Really odd.
so then, to make somewhat of a long story short, because I definitely want my mom to get into sharing her experience, and losing her mom so young. But my grandmother passed away. My birthday is January 6th. She passed on January 15th, right? Martin Luther King's birthday. And I kept that cake, y'all. I kept it up until recently, very, very recently. And we went through a pretty trying time after she passed. We bounced around. We were living here. We were living there. We were with this friend, that friend, with Auntie Shay, my grandmother, my other grandmother's right here.
Shout out to the couches. And
Yes.
Mattresses on the floor.
Right.
Yeah.
We really came through that. So
we did.
Thank
you, y'all.
Yes. I always shout those people out too. Every last one of them. I always remind them of how much that meant to me as a little girl. So the cake got lost at some point where we were in transition. At least we thought it got lost. We ended up moving when we finally got stabilized, and we got a call like, "Oh my God, we found the cake!" It was somewhere like in the shed of one of our good friends' homes through a summer and a winter, and and the cake just looked as if it was the day that Nana made the cake, right? But like you said, we later, realized that that's just the preservatives that kept it that way
intact
20 plus years later, which is crazy. But that cake really meant a lot to me. And I wrote my college essay about that cake.
You wrote your college essay.
About how, my grandmother's strength, the cake represented my grandmother's strength. And that's something that I carry with me till this day. I always have. And, that's just kind of a little bit of, what my Nana meant to me. I only had her for 8 years, but to think that 8 years really felt like a lifetime, in a sense, because I still talk about her daily. I wear her ring every day. This is her ring right here. I do not take it off. I wear it every single day. So that's just kind of a bit of a kickoff for what Miss Christine Calloway meant to us and what she left for us. And when we talk about family first and the idea of wealth, right, and what that means to us. So
right.
Before we get started, just to kind of give you an idea of what the story means for me is I did not realize until I got the age that you were, that Nana passed away, like how young you were when that occurred, right? Like I reached that age and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't even imagine. I can't fathom. God willing, he blesses you with many, many more years. But it truly changed my perspective on a lot of the things that we went through together and the things you decided to do, the things you didn't decide to do. Because I'm like, there's no way, that she was able to stand through that, but you did. And and I think it's a true testimony for all the young ladies, and young men too, that have lost a parent at a young age, a grown age. I feel like it's something that no matter how old you are, it affects you in ways that like you really can't fathom. So that's one thing that I took from Nana's passing. Like, dang, my mother was only 27. Like, that's young. That's really young.
I was young.
Yeah.
I was young.
Yes. Yes.
And it was not only that I was young, I was a young mom.
Yes.
At the time. And everything about her embodied family.
Yeah.
And it was, as you know, I was just having a conversation with someone on the way over, and she talked about how her parents were immigrants, and her mom was the oldest of many children. And I thought of, wow, my mom was the same. Like I remember not feeling that she was the oldest,
right,
but not knowing what that meant, but knowing what it meant when family members would move from down south and come up north and move in, or and it was a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot, like, and family were right around the corner from each other, across the street from each other.
Right.
They might have stayed with us for a little while and then
right,
got an apartment across the street or around the corner. So I think what I meditate more on now is the impact that she had
right,
on our lives. And that's the tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize it sometimes until it's gone. And as we talked about, it being a long time since at least her voice and her presence has been with us, but she just embodied everything that you can imagine when it came. Like when I just think about the energy of our home.
Yeah.
And people just wanted to be there, wanted to be around her, wanted to, her homegoing services, the line was down the street and people just wanted to come up and give their 3 minutes of what we thought was supposed to be a 3 minute of, stories. And everyone from school administrators to police officers to, just all walks of life. Like you don't even imagine that one person can have that kind of impact in a whole community. At the time, it was in the 70s,
right,
when she came
to Boston,
from New York, but eventually landing in Boston. And it just, I think the word that's been sticking with me most during this Mother's Day is her impact.
Yeah.
And was that a choice, right? Because we get to choose,
right,
if we want to live a life of service, which will eventually leave an impact, especially now. Like I think of just, social media and, everyone telling their stories, and you're giving of yourself, you're providing this service to hopefully inspire someone or have a memory or whatever it is. But wow, collectively to live your life strictly of service, like where she just lived a life of service to starting out as they called them like school aides. So she worked inside of a high school and did everything. And this again in the 70s when things were very hard for African Americans.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially in Boston. I can't.
It was,
and for her to come from such a little small town, you follow Alabama, to in
small town.
I just think,
gosh,
right, like you said, it was a choice, right?
It was a choice.
Like,
I hope. Well, I don't think I ever asked her.
Right.
I just kind of, walked the streets with her when she was helping mayors become mayors. And I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think of how it was shaping me, how that would eventually shape my children.
Right.
But I don't know if that was her choice, because sometimes service is just who you are.
Yeah, well,
and the impact
you still
is a byproduct of it.
You still make the choice
to
serve.
I think so,
because she didn't have to do any of those things. Like Nana didn't have a college degree. She wasn't working a 6-figure job. But like you said, she fed people, she clothed people. But it kind of goes back to like that personal philosophy that I have, that how you make people feel really matters, because
how you leave them.
You don't, right, you got to leave people better than when you found them. Right. And she did just that. And
again, a choice though,
right?
Like we really have a choice if that's the kind of, but when it's just in you, I think I deal with that now, because sometimes you want to turn off your service button, like you really want to turn it off, and it just, you can't.
I've just recently went through the same thing. I'm my best self when I'm serving my community.
You really are. I'm watching you in that now.
Yeah, and I thrive best when I'm helping somebody that has less than me, and it keeps me sharp too. Like gratitude, as of lately, I've just been thanking God for alignment. Even this episode, and as far as it kind of just aligning with Mother's Day coming up, we've never really celebrated Mother's Day in this way, so it's something I do truly believe I got from Nana, for sure. But again, like I said, for me to have I didn't really see that. I got a glimpse of it,
right?
Where the African lady that used to come clean, or they used to clean together, and the African lady had a daughter. It was her daughter or her niece. I forget. Her granddaughter. I wonder where she is these days. If you remember Zeyanna and Christine.
And what was her name? Oh my gosh.
It'll come to us.
It has to.
This little girl was in the house with us, like whatever clothes she needed, and I seen that growing up. I guess those are little pieces that I took from, Nana as well. But
wow. That's a throwback.
Yeah.
Because she was literally just a lady from down the street.
Yeah.
And I can remember that particular house that we lived in. We had a garage.
Madonna Circle.
Yeah.
In Lowell. Shout out to Lowell.
We had a garage.
We got seeds in Lowell too. Lowell, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yes. Home is where the heart is, y'all.
Right.
Home is where the heart is. But so there was a part. One of my most grateful memories of my mother was, and it came to me when I said about her spending time in New York, because it wasn't until the pandemic, if you remember, there was a movie that was out that talked about like how block parties became a thing. And I would always, so my mom, y'all, would literally have block parties. And when I tell you,
hopefully y'all know what a block party is, but she would have to go to the police and get a petition and make sure all the neighbors had signed this piece of paper.
That was respectful.
So she could take it back to, I don't know if it was the police department or the city or whoever, but she knew everybody in the community. And we would line the street with speakers. They would tie the speakers up against the light poles, and there'd be a DJ on our front porch. So we lived in a 3-family. And it, like, to be a little girl, first of all, I was told I could not leave off the porch. So I had to sit with this DJ, y'all, on the milk crates on my porch. And sometimes I'll be in a grocery store and like certain songs will come on, and your brother says it all the time. How do you know every song? Mom, like, how do you know every song?
We love music.
Think about, oh my gosh, we're such a... But I think when I thought about that recently, because there was a song that came on and I'm literally in the grocery store dancing because I just have to. So I was a little girl and I would be told, you can't leave off the porch, because the street would literally be lined with people from the top of you couldn't see me looking over the porch. You couldn't see the street for people. And the DJ will be playing music and everybody's just dancing. So I want to say your grandmother, like literally little town and Eufaula, country girl, pick cotton.
Right.
To this day, I didn't know how does she know?
Like, where did that idea come from?
So when I was watching the movie, I have to remember the name of this movie, but it was, we were late getting Netflix. So I don't it was on Netflix.
I've always had Netflix.
Well, on your phone.
You were late to get in my password. That's very different.
I just remember it was a movie about DJing in New York and how, so I guess in New York, the DJs would just be outside, like, and they would just have speakers on the street and everybody would just come and dance.
Right.
So I'm hoping that was finally an answer. She never told me. I don't think our uncle.
So maybe you think she got it from New York and then brought it to Boston?
Because I had never heard about another street having these block parties.
I bet you that we're gonna manifest that. Somebody's gonna have some sort of pictures or something. If you was on Astoria Street, when was that? The 80s?
Yeah.
Early 80s?
Early 80s.
If you lived on Astoria Street in Boston, Massachusetts.
Well, it's fun. So what's interesting is I want to say I remember maybe 3 or 4. We always had cookouts, always, like in the backyard. It was always food cooking. But the block parties were, I remember the first time someone got shot.
Okay.
So we were safe every summer with like having one.
Right.
And then I want to say I remember maybe having 3 or 4 before fights would break out, and then everybody would have to disperse because the neighbors would start calling the police.
Right.
And then people would leave off the street and go disperse, but a fight or a gun would surface and they would fight and gun, whatever it was, it would always happen off of the street. So it wouldn't happen during the block party, but it would be when they would leave.
Right.
So eventually the neighbors, guess what, was not signing that petition. No. And Nana, she'd be so mad, and then she would be arguing with the neighbors, but after a while they were like, "No, Christine, you've had your time, and it's time to retire the block parties." But those were some of the best memories, and just her way of either not knowing. I think about how I met New Edition. So if you let your brother tell it, my son tells a story about, he'll say, "Do you want to hear something sad?" This is when he was little.
Oh my goodness.
Around the time the movie came out. My mom was supposed to be a backup dancer for New Edition. And I really was. I really, really was. But so shout out to Ronnie. Ronnie lived maybe a block away from where the block parties were on Astoria Street. And we didn't know him then. We didn't know he was Ronnie DeVoe.
Right.
But he with him living down the street, we met his brothers. So they would come on Astoria Street, and that's how we knew Robin and Roland. Shout out to Rob and Roland, the twins. So they, that's so crazy. Wow. So my mom would put us in a talent show. So she would go around the street and just recruit young
different girls.
I don't remember knowing, did I know them? But we had to have known each other before. Can't really remember. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it was 4 of us. 4.
What was the name of the group?
Dazzling Dancers was our name.
Stuff. This was a long time ago, y'all.
And so if y'all ever saw the New Edition movie, there was Maurice Starr would have these talent shows. Mm-hmm. And and you talked about that recently. Like we should like bring those back. But those talent shows were everything for everyone, because it would bring different neighborhoods together, and you could live in Roxbury and have your group, or you lived in Dorchester and their group, and you lived in Mattapan, you had your group. But when Maurice Starr would have this talent show, you got to showcase your talent from your neighborhood, Mattapan, Roxbury, Dorchester. So we were Mattapan girls, and Maurice Starr called my mom because New Edition had been discovered in that talent show. And it was 4 of us. And at the time, everybody remembers, if you're the original Candy Girl, you know that there were only 4 members first before Ronnie joined. And he wanted us to be backup dancers for them. But I was the youngest. I was only maybe like 9 or 10, but I could dance. So hence sitting on milk crates
with the DJ.
That's
all you could do up there was
dance. And learn the words. So so that's like our claim to fame. And then we came back to Maurice Starr Talent Night, and my mom, your Nana, was she was like our manager, right? So that's why Maurice Starr had to call her. She had the number because we would compete every year. It was like 2 years we were in the show, and once New Edition was discovered, that's how we were able to be contacted. And
she said no. She was like, mm-mm.
She said no. She said no to me. So she called all the moms together and was like, this man is on the phone talking about, because girls didn't dance behind boys back then.
Right.
They just didn't. And shout out to Anita, who I had 2 really good friends who I roller skated with on a roller skating team in Boston. And they were one of them was actually in the video. They both auditioned, and they wanted to bring me like to the audition, but I was always the youngest.
Right.
So Anita was Ronnie's girl in the video, and that's my girl. Yeah. That's my girl. I remember she.
Is that the one that does the splits?
She did the splits on roller skates.
I do recall that. And I never seen her do it, but every time you seen her, you made it a point like, that's the girl that could
You didn't see her the time she actually came to one of Auntie B's cookouts.
I remember.
And she did the split in the living room.
I don't know.
She literally got on the ground and did a split
somewhere with the kids when that happened.
I couldn't believe she definitely could still split.
I was definitely not in the living room with the adults while y'all was splitting.
I think Anita was like, she had no bones or something. She just was muscle on her legs. But yeah, those were good times. We came back. New Edition was guest stars, and we remember being pushed into their dressing room to change at the last minute because we were running late, and we saw their name belts laying across the chair, and we were like, oh my God, there's Bobby's belt, and Mike's belt, and good times, good times. But all because of your knee. I just,
well, I think she saw your gifts though, right? She carried you, so it's kind of like, what did she know again about putting you in talent shows and putting you in dance teams and having you on the skate team?
Because it clearly had to have been, even though she came up in a very small 2-light traffic light town, somehow what she experienced there had to have encouraged her to dig deeper into what you just referred to as gifts. So as you know, what stories did your aunts tell you about your grandmother?
My Auntie Stella. Shout out Auntie Stella.
Stella May.
We dropping names today because it's Mother's Day. We want everybody to get their flowers. But
Auntie
she
Stella.
told me that Nana was a majorette.
A majorette.
And she said people used to come to watch her. Like, she led the line and she would be out there twirling that baton. Whoop, 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 whoop. And like, people in the town, obviously football is big in the South. So,
yes, it is.
You know, the town shuts down for Friday
the band
night.
is big.
And the band, absolutely.
Is even bigger.
So she told me that she was she used to lead. She played basketball. She did everything, which, you know, I never knew. And thinking about like where I get playing basketball from, you know. And
I didn't get that.
Not at all.
I got the high stepping, but definitely not the basketball.
Well, she calls herself playing pickleball now, but
pickleball,
you know,
is
she's recently
everything.
Diagnosed herself a torn meniscus. So, you know, we'll
it's
see.
Gonna get better though. Yeah. I'm gonna be
back.
But
you self-diagnosed, Ma. That's
okay. I'm good to keep the focus on what matters most is that I'm coming back.
All right, we'll be ready.
Shout out to pickleball.
Yeah.
Pickleballers.
But another story that Auntie Stella shared with me, we were actually at the hospital for our cousin, Nicole, that she passed away not too long after I got to visit her.
Are we supposed to be asking people permission to use their names?
I'm not sure, but you know, I feel like it's like I said, this time around, you know, we just this is celebratory, right? We're celebrating lives. This perspective, is all I'm asking for.
Yes,
because we're not up here to say anything, you know, that's gonna hurt somebody.
Well,
or
they're
diminish.
facts.
Yeah. So and she just back to what she shared with me was that and I wanted to just share that moment because of what it meant. The hospital that we were in, she was saying that Nana was the first Black nurse in that particular hospital, or like the first one to graduate a certain class, or something of that magnitude.
Yes, it was kind of like if I understand it correctly, it was like a school where you learned nursing things while you were still in high school,
right?
So you would almost like
a vocational type of school.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she had shared that, I forget what is the name of that, is it Barber County Hospital or something?
I want to say there might be a Henry in there, Barber County.
Yeah, something along those lines.
I'm gonna find that certificate.
I think a goal of mine also is to really like fact check that, because you know me, if that's the case, there's gonna be a plaque or something somewhere in that hospital with my grandmother's name on it,
honoring
gold, you know, something.
Well, and what was
nice.
Interesting, because what wish she didn't talk a lot about those things, even though they were huge. Just I get choked up, but huge accomplishments. And but again, if it was just who she was, I don't think there was ever a time when these things mattered to the point that I wish, because I don't know how it would have impacted me maybe in other ways. Not that they were, you know, that I didn't have great strides and things happening in our lives because of what I did know.
Right.
But it's like she just didn't talk about any of those things.
Because you know, you kind of think that's something, you know, when you have your first grandchild, you're like, I was the first Black nurse at the hospital in the town I grew up in, you know, but whatever, even if that's not the full story, to even for that to even be the conversation of something that we can really go and find out for sure.
Absolutely.
I think is beautiful.
Yes.
And because of that, when I found that out, I'm like, I step a little different when I come into Eufaula. I'm like, okay, this is my grandparents' stomping ground. You know, like my grandmother was the first Black nurse in the hospital in this town. Okay, y'all can't tell me nothing.
That was something special. But we enjoy going back there, which is one of the reasons I don't want to say I regret, but we chose to lay her to rest.
Yes.
In her hometown at the church where she grew up in, and I believe baptized. I'm not sure, but
this church, let me tell y'all, it's
dirt
road, little white church. The last time we went, it was a struggle to find it. And guess who pulled up? Auntie Stella pulled up in her truck. I know, I'll show y'all where it's at, you know, because it was definitely a struggle to get back there.
Yes.
Because I hadn't been in years, but God willing, the next time we're going to be doing something special.
Something special.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
she
sure.
deserves that.
She does.
Yes.
And
especially now that the cake, I never thought about it because I always had the cake. But
yeah, the cake is gone, guys. But you know, I think that it was somewhat symbolic, at least for me. I felt like when I noticed that it was gone, I was like, okay, I have been praying for God to help me with releasing things. Just letting go of things, material things, you know, and I'm not even going to say people that don't serve me, because I've been blessed. I haven't been in too many situations with people that drain me or take from me or have stolen from me. I've never, you know, I've been blessed in my life as far as my relationships. So, but I do think there are things that I hold on to, and grief being one of them, being probably my biggest kryptonite. Is
well, yeah, you've been a trooper.
Yeah, it's been
that part.
Yeah, it's been like
bing
bing bing,
yes.
you know.
Yeah,
like sometimes I'm not, you know, I'm gonna be careful what I speak.
Exactly.
But
yes.
I think that when I noticed it, I was like, because I had been praying for just exactly that.
Yes.
And when I went to, you know, where the cake was at, I realized too that like I have no more emotional attachment to this particular place. So I think that might have been huge. The last thing that I was holding on to.
That was huge.
But I didn't even think, you know, to take the cake or, you know, tell the person like, you know, this is important, you know, don't throw it out, but it's all good. You know?
Well, because the cake looks like a real cake.
And that's what I'm like, okay, he probably thought we left this cake sitting here. And it was just it looked
like
they done left this cake. Like, he probably opened it, touched this
it,
cake
like
been sitting here for this cake, you know. We about to have rodents in here with this cake. But it was definitely symbolic for me. And I know I wasn't expecting you to be more upset than I was, because I had to tell you like, Ma, please, it's okay, you know, we're okay, like we're learning to release.
Yeah, I think for me too, it was because there were lots of things that, because of all the moving around after dealing with the grief that I didn't even know I was going through, you know, her black cast iron pans, because that was like left in someone's house. It was like all of my roller skating trophies that was a big one. And, but everything was just everywhere. Like I would have loved to have been able to at least show actually, it wasn't just my roller, it was my track trophies, medals, just like bins of stuff that we would just leave when we were moving on to the next place or, you know, for the next part of the journey. So I think the cake might have been like one of those final things that I knew that I had held on to from that. And
I think
so
aside from her ring,
jewelry,
I think I still have her pearls as well. And I actually need to bring those to the jeweler to get it fixed. The clasp fixed. So we do have some things, but not only that, we also talked about part of this episode is about wealth, right? And what it really means for us. Right. And I think we did look it up, like what the meaning is in the Bible, you know, and it's not always tied to material things, which we kind of think about legacy, wealth, you know, what am I leaving behind? Nana truly left us nothing but her spirit and her energy. And, and we are now sitting here 25 plus years later and still speaking her name. And I think that that's what anybody would want, after they've gone on, to the streets paved in gold. I know that she would love to be here with us, but God needed her more. And she truly, what the things she left in you have just literally poured into me. And you think also about like how people look at children as a gift, from God. I think about that time period, like, what if you weren't a mom?
Right.
Because you had, in a way, you had to be resilient. You had to be strong, because if you didn't, what would have happened to me, in the midst, even though we had a strong village, we talk
did.
about that a lot. Like there wasn't a person you couldn't call that would look after me if need
Not
be.
one.
And I was always safe and taken care of. So, I think about that also, how God, kind of, we were like a match made in heaven.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, it's what's interesting is wow. I think about walking in the door and the clinic that I'd gone to when I found out that I was pregnant with you, and somehow they just mailed the paperwork to the house. And I remember walking into it, because even though y'all, like, we talk about the matriarch, the queen, she had a bone in her body, because when right before she passed away, her career before passing was a police officer.
School
which we did.
police.
School police.
Yeah.
They didn't carry guns, but they had to take the same test in order to wear the badge. But
Goodness.
I
Sorry, guys. Sheesh.
I remember coming into because she did have that other presence, as loving and as sweet, and as
she was a firecracker.
She did not take no mess. And when I came home and that paperwork was laying on the table, and she opened it. She opened it, and all the they send you all the little pamphlets about what to do, what not to do, and so she had everything laid out all nice on the table.
Oh my goodness.
So but to sit here and listen to you speak of her, and to connect it all back to the beginning, was there wasn't even a thought in my mind that she was going to, the way she embraced the process, and not that it would not have been, but to know that you became the air that she breathed. Like, it wasn't a moment of, you were her air.
Yeah. Shout out to my Nana.
And I thank you for that, because it was during a time when I still had to figure things out, so that she wouldn't be so disappointed. And I think I've always walked with that understanding of still making her proud, even in her resting place. It was like, it was necessary.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing a great job.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I think I told you how she came to me in a dream.
Yeah, saying take care of Zeyanna.
Take care of Zeyanna.
Yeah.
And I remember being out that night.
She went out a lot, y'all. I used to page her.
I remember.
I used to page her like, where is you at? I don't think I had a special page, but I remember being on that pager, because woo-wee, she enjoyed them 90s, baby.
Yeah, we did. We did. It's a good time. Yeah. But she, and I remember waking up thinking that she was coming to me telling me that something was wrong with you, but I knew I had left you with her, and it was going to be a snowstorm that next morning. So I remember driving home and the snow was just falling, and yeah, it wasn't too long. I want to say less than 24 hours later was when she woke up, said she had a headache.
Yeah.
And it just, went downhill from there.
Yeah.
And but we were there together with her. I don't regret at all. I was with both of my parents, lived with them when God took them home. So I believe that was just a gift. We recognize that now, because it wasn't always easy.
Yeah.
Still being under the same roof as your parents.
Yes. Because they don't ever, at least a parent that doesn't stop to parent, I think, like you said, we're now perspective. We're just looking at the perspective of what it all means, right? You know, and your perspective can really change your situation.
Well, I was happy for you for that gift.
Which
meaning,
Nana?
Well, both of them, because you were able to come back and say, later, like, Mom, I understand now.
Yeah.
Because that was a choice. It didn't have to be, but it was a choice. And prayerfully, that's what you at least got out of that, was that you were with your grandparents like every day.
Definitely. Yeah. It's definitely a blessing. One that, of course, I feel now like I took for granted. Yeah. But, I'm working through that. So? Yeah, at times. More so with grandpa, but Father's Day. Father's Day is coming up. We got another episode for y'all, because we got another
Father's
angel
Day,
that really didn't play about us. Okay, he didn't play about us, but today's about the nanas.
It is about the nanas.
But yeah, I think that that's the wealth, that she left for us, and this picture right here in particular, I really love. I'm gonna hold it up because that's me. That's crazy. I really kind of look the same, maybe a little bit extra weight on the neck, but I look exactly the same, almost the same hairstyle and everything.
Oh, we loved your ponytail.
This picture I love because of Nana's hand placement. Yeah. When I look at the picture, she has her hand literally just right on my shoulder. And
and we actually laid her to rest in that same
this
dress
outfit
that she has on.
This was Mom Estelle's
thing.
THANG. Was it her 100th birthday? I think this was her 100th.
It was probably her 100th birthday.
But yeah, I love that picture just because of her hand placement. Yes. But another thing we had talked about before we get into the health aspect, because that's what we'll wrap up with, was the idea of family first, right? When you hear family first, you think that's just, okay, I'm gonna put my brother first, I'm gonna put my cousin first, or my blood, I'm gonna put them first before anything, or they come before people on the street, or you had a really amazing spin on like how we can talk about family first. You had mentioned and I love the transition because we talked about Mama Estelle, which that was, I believe, was her 100th. It had to have been her 100th birthday. Yeah. Mama Estelle's THANG.
We always say THANG.
The sister THANG.
The sister THANG. The cousin THANG.
Cousin THANG. So, so through my grandmother, I also had the blessing of knowing my great-great-grandmother, Mama Estelle. I remember when we would go to Eufaula, she would be sitting there in her little chair, right? As soon as you go through the door, she was blind at the time that I was growing up, but she knew everybody's voice. She knew who people were. So I have to be able to have vivid memories of your great-great-grandmother is like truly a blessing. Something I hold dear to me, because not too many people get that opportunity. And then, we could get into just the times that I can't imagine what it was like when she was growing up, right? And the fact that she's not that far removed from me and I got to meet her also puts a lot into perspective on how, I handle myself today as a young woman. And so after Mom Estelle, my great-great-grandmother, I also had a very special relationship with my great-grandmother.
Yes.
Aimbet. Betty Mae Womack. That lady was truly, truly my heart. And, we talk about family first, but, when we now say that, we're thinking of them, right?
Absolutely.
Through that phrase. So you came up with it. So I'd love to hear more about how you put the spin on that meaning.
Because just thinking of where they came from, like I appreciate so much now more than ever. Thank God you were able to experience that whole, it was a whole thing pulling up and you follow. Like it was a whole experience, right? But yet and still where, my parents moved from there to Boston and New York, then to Boston, but they always stayed connected. So I don't remember ever taking a vacation with my mom or my dad, but I remember getting in the car and driving down south. Like she would fry chicken, would she make, and I know, just load up the chat because I know some of y'all got these.
She's watching way too much YouTube.
Because I know when it was time for y'all to go down south for the summer, or somebody might have passed away, or all I remember is those car rides. I don't ever remember going to the airport ever to come down south. So to know that these women who now we call our ancestors,
I can't even imagine, right?
And I only had half the experience of just coming for the summer and being dropped off and left for the entire summer, because we maybe on the Father's Day conversation to just talk up, just because that was a whole nother side, like whole different experience and a different side of you follow,
correct,
than where my
Shout
grandmother
out to Big Mama.
where my another big mama, and just type if you have a big mama in your family. It's just, certain
she used
things.
To sit on her porch with her gun.
She would sit on the porch with her gun under under her breast. But
go to Burger King and order a cheeseburger with nothing on it.
Nothing on it.
She would say, "Nothing. I just want the meat. I don't want nothing else."
She would not want anything. And I think she wanted cheese, but she would be yelling so she'd be yelling so loud through the drive-through because she never went inside.
And that's just another. We could do a whole nother when we do Father's Day. We'll talk about Big Mama
in her white Nova.
Yes, we'll talk about Big Mama.
Yeah, Chevy Nova.
Heavenly Mother's Day to Big Mama as well. I have memories with her as well, which is. Again, that's my great grandmother.
I'm so grateful for that, for you.
Yeah.
I really, really am. Because I have friends who were very good friends who lived up north, but they didn't have those experiences. It might have been once to go to somebody's funeral or something like that. But we made it a point, if we didn't do anything else, that you at least we were going down south, and so
that's beautiful.
Well,
we're thankful and grateful for the ones that came before us.
Yes,
and family first now has a new meaning for us, because the ones that came first before us, they paved the way for us to be sitting here today. And that's such a cliche thing to say, but I feel like when you have that direct bloodline though, it hits a little different,
and now, and we hear about it a lot in other cultures.
Yeah, very true.
Not so much as in our community. And as we talk about health, because I think about the sugar. And sugar. I don't even think we put a "the" in it. It was just if sugar. You had it, you just had sugar. And to know years later that that's diabetes.
Yes.
And I just, when I think about now being in the field of health, as a career choice, it was only, I knew that it was something that I had to do.
Yeah.
Even if it meant in a side hustle form. The closer I got to understanding more about the biological processes of the body and these norms that are not only in my community, but affected greatly, that my son doesn't know these amazing people because health
Health.
had an impact or a
Yeah.
direct impact of erasing the voices, silencing the women.
Yeah.
And it can't leave me.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
you definitely
it
like,
won't
it's like a
leave me.
mission for you.
It's a mission.
You have really,
It is
like,
a mission.
it's like you put the armor on, like, this is
Yes.
gonna stop here.
Yeah, 55, my mom,
Yeah.
high blood pressure, here one day, gone the next, headache gone.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. A lot of the people listening, it's
What are some things you would say that, before we close out, that you're doing currently for your health? Like
pickleball.
pickleball. Yes, pickleball. Yes.
Well, I mean,
Just think about, just because this platform, what I love though is like, we're just your average lady and her daughter, like, we don't have these grandiose ideas about health, and, like, we're learning, right?
are.
But like, just some of the simple things that you do daily, on top of patching, we're hoping that you all get patched. But outside of that, you have your patch on.
Actually,
you're gonna be able to see it.
One behind my
Okay.
a new place.
All right.
New place. New place.
So let's just share 3 things. I'll share 3 things, and then we'll close it out with a beautiful happy Mother's Day again.
To all the mothers out there, and some fathers too that have to be mothers, but I look at mothers as an energy, as a blessing of an
Mother's
energy,
Day.
but
Fathers have their day.
It's also a day on the calendar.
I know, but it matters. Perspective. Perspective.
Yeah, I have another. Yeah, that's another theory. But so 3 things. Lately, it's really been like energy. I almost look at it like food.
Yeah. What you're
I'm
consuming.
kind of on a, as you know, like a hiatus of very different from me. And paying attention to
so energy.
Inviting energy, like just recognizing it, like, because that's like the first thing we do from the minute we wake up until we'll have the opportunity to close our eyes, is give of ourselves.
Yes.
And it's a long season of giving, and it's my work, right? It's my work. So I've just made a decision to have one thing be just very, I pay a lot of attention to the energy around myself, first and foremost. But secondly, clean eating choices. That's been interesting.
Important.
I'm doing the somewhat of the fasting, of not eating after a certain time. Your brother's killing me with that one, because he gets home so late from practice, and then we want to sit up and we want to talk, and then we eat.
Yeah.
But again, more of doing the good thing than not so much of doing. So I do
balance.
more of not allowing giving my digestive system a break. And so those are 3 things.
3 things.
3 things.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yes. And like I shared, it's important. to us, you know.
Yes.
It means something a little different. And I think in our community, health is also just a mindset, you know, and that's something that we're working on. We're continuing to just change our mindset about our perspective, about how we eat, what we eat, you know, how we move, what's around us,
who we're eating,
literally energy. Right. But that's extremely important.
Yes.
So, I love that. That's beautiful. We got into a really good conversation today. We shared a little bit about our journey with Nana. We didn't talk too much about the grief side, which I'm kind of okay with that,
definitely okay.
And we'll get into that because I'm sure there's people who can really be inspired by the things you did to get through no longer hearing your voice. I realized that Nana was your biggest cheerleader, and I can't imagine, not having that anymore. So this Mother's Day, what I'm going to vow to do is be more of your cheerleader. Because I know sometimes I could be like, ma, you know.
Why do you sound like your father?
I can really just be more of a cheerleader for you. And before we wrap up, this is my favorite picture of you and I right here.
You and I. Do you know that's a song? I won't sing the words.
This picture right here, we were on a cruise ship. This was my first time on an island, Bahamas to be exact. Carnival cruise, way back in the day. Thank you for exposing me to that because I've never been the same since. And
that was after Nana had passed.
Not too couple years after.
But I remember it being something that we like wanting to do it because of the grief. I remember still having a lot of heaviness.
Yeah. And I think, you see the smiles on our faces. I think we had a really good time.
It's a breakthrough.
And we'll get into that cruise ship story too. We'll have a time because I did something really crazy on that cruise.
Because I was out.
And I couldn't page her. So I had to go find her. No, sir. But okay. Well, I think today's episode felt like a little bit of therapy for me.
That's
and
good.
I'm happy that we got through this. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
And I think we gave our flowers, so I don't think we have to get into that. We gave our flowers to the ones that came before us. Family first, health, wealth. And this episode was truly, truly from the heart. Truly from the heart. And before we close, I'm going to say one thing.
Well, because I don't know because when we moved the picture, there were products behind the picture. I don't know if anyone recognizes. So because it's a brand, shout out to Sherry Fields and the crew. I was telling Zeyanna before we got here, Natural Skin Day, one of the Natural Skin Days, but Natural Radiant Life, y'all. If you haven't heard about it, go check it out.
Absolutely.
Our very dear friend is one of the leaders, one of the creators, but she's not only a creator behind the brand, along with two of her very dear friends, but she happened to be one of the first women who I watched become a millionaire. And she knows her name. She knows, you can look it up, Natural Radiant Life. Her name is all over the website, along with her two dear friends who are running that brand. So they are the reason for the plant-based radiant
skin looking nice,
natural,
no makeup there, y'all.
No makeup,
just
there.
natural
radiant life.
Okay, well, I do want to say one last thing.
You do? Okay.
There's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand you are appreciated.
You just had to
break down Dear Mama on 3.
1, 2, 3. Dear Mama.
Mwah. Mwah. Cut.
Thank you for tuning into the Soul Different podcast, where we soul different and we are so different. We hope today's conversation sparked new ideas, inspiration, and a renewed commitment to building strong families and legacies. Remember, no obstacle is too big when we stand together. Let's keep pushing forward, cultivating our health,
building our businesses, and most importantly, strengthening the foundation of family. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share, and join us next time as we continue to break barriers and elevate our culture. Until then, remember, you are worthy, stay strong, stay connected, and keep building for the future.